So you have got your 30 seconds or 1 minute, you're into your conversation, and what do you now say to really make an impact? And this is fundamental because this is really the make or break of the call. You've earned your introduction, you've done the hard work, you've got over your nerves, but you need to make this bit count and it needs to be watertight. So what do you do? What do you talk about? So it isn't to talk about your solution. It's not to talk about your product or your company. It's to talk about your prospect, their world, their problems, and to identify with them that you understand them and you can shine a light on potentially how you might just be the solution they didn't know they were looking for. And the best way of doing this is not just by talking about the problems per se. You want to be looking at how can you identify the symptoms of those problems. So I'll give you an example. So as a sales trainer, if I'm calling through to a managing director of, say, an IT company, I wouldn't say, hi there, Mr. Managing Director, I'm Scott, I'm a sales trainer, and I can help you with your pipeline, I can improve your conversion rates, and I can win you more deals. Because first of all, they're outcomes, but they're outcomes of doing something better. And whatever that something better is, they are the symptoms of the problems that you solve. So for example, instead of saying, I can increase your conversion rates, I can improve win rates, I would say, so Mr. Prospect, what I do is work with managing directors of IT companies who are really quite stressed out that their salespeople are having a lot of meetings, but they just don't seem to be with the right people. They're talking to a lot of middle managers, and they can't seem to get to those decision makers. So decisions are just not made. People flake out, people get ghosted, or they just take forever to close. And some of my other salespeople, they're just not making the calls. And when they do pick up the phone, they don't sound particularly credible. And I wouldn't particularly respond well on the end of that. So, these are the issues that I'm faced with day to day, and it drives me nuts. So there you go. That's an example. These are symptoms of what these managing directors are experiencing day to day. If salespeople are not picking up the phone, or if they're not speaking to the right people or having meetings with more senior people, then these are symptoms of a bigger problem. And the bigger problem is not closing deals, not converting, and deals taking too long to close. So the symptoms of what you have to identify, they are the root cause of the problems you solve. And your solution will most likely fix those symptoms, and they will help solve the root cause, which will have better outcomes for your prospect. So I hope that makes sense to you. Play around with it depending on what you sell exactly, but always remember, lead with symptoms, have them very, very clear in your mind, and talk about them using emotive language like stressed, frustrated, they've got huge headaches over this. And this will take your prospect from a rational mindset to one of emotion, where they actually feel something from what you're saying, which again, people buy emotionally and they justify intellectually. So you need to get the emotion and then the intellect. Okay, so I will see you in the next video.